Understanding that audio technology, and to some degree quality, varies over time, I wanted to see what a low-priced AV receiver offered in 2021. So, I used my powers of persuasion to convince Yamaha to loan me their new RX V4A, at $440 suggested retail, $439 at Best Buy, the company's lowest-priced home theater receiver incorporating Musicast wireless multiroom streaming capabilities for more than 2 decades. The heart and brain of my home theater system was Yamaha's behemoth DSP-A1. The 5/7 channel amp was a versatile workhorse delivering an honest 110 watts to each of 5 channels and an additional 35 each to front effects speakers. The amp was almost infinitely adjustable, with volume and delay variables for each channel. It incorporated a selection of 42, yes, 42, DSP settings, nearly half created by sampling actual venues. And each could be adjusted to suit the room and user's taste. I loved the plain look of its black front panel, relatively large display, and few visible controls for input selection and volume. A fold-down panel revealed a group of lesser-used controls. The remote, widely ridiculed when the A1 was introduced, was designed with the same philosophy. Power, input selection, and volume were all clearly visible and easy to identify. But the face of the remote folded back to reveal a startling array of programs and adjustments, all tweakable from the listening position. The RX V4A, by comparison, is, in addition to being significantly cheaper, much lighter, easier to set up and operate, comes with a built-in AM, FM tuner as well as the aforementioned Musicast functionality, and is Bluetooth capable. It's also understandably less brawny than the DSP-A1, delivering 80 watts per channel from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, 0.06% THD, into 8 ohms. In other words, features have supplanted amplifier output. Over the years I've learned that despite technology advances, time, and volume sales, having attended hundreds of press events and hosted more than a few, there is no such thing as a free lunch. It's an illusion. Like perpetual motion and tax refund sites should also be noted that, in this era of object-based surround sound, the RX V4A is a 5.1 channel AV receiver, with no accommodation for height channels. For that, you'll need to step up to the $600 RX V6A, reviewed here, which adds 2 more amplified channels, a bit more power per channel, and an enhanced version of Yamaha's Wipow room correction system. But the real question is, in your living room or home theater, how much difference does the relative dearth of the latest advancements in object-based surround and high-powered amplification make when compared to the benefits of price and convenience? For those of us used to a front panel of buttons and broad display window, think again. The RX V4A, as well as its more expensive brethren, sports a cycloptic look with a big rotary volume knob in the center of its front panel. To the right of the volume control is a smallish display window that provides specific setting information, more about that later. While some aspects of the RX V4A feel strange and unfamiliar, others are as well worn as a favorite pair of slippers. Many of the DSP settings, familiar and enjoyed with the DSP-A1, are back on the budget model. Indeed, some date back to Yamaha's original foray into recreating the acoustic personalities of actual venues, the DSP-1. For music lovers, Philharmonie in Munich and Vienna's Hörsäle provide a more than pleasing ambience for orchestral or large-scale works. New York's Bottom Line and Village Gate recreate those famous jazz venues. And LA's Roxy Theater sets the proper atmosphere for rock performances. Another 10 DSP settings immerse the user in a variety of sound environments suitable for game playing or realizing a movie sound editor's oral vision. The RX V4A's DSP processing provides a recognizably different sound field for gaming than you get when you set it to action. As for movies, the RX V4A offers half a dozen different sound fields, from one that's designed for older movies and mono soundtracks to those engineered to simulate the most sophisticated theaters playing the kind of sizzling, exploding, roaring sound that excites viewers, and wins awards for their creators. Suggestively labeled standard, spectacle, sci-fi, adventure and drama, these settings are good places to start the exploration of the receiver's sound, suppleness, and subtlety. The V4A's back panel features an array of black, red-coated 5-way binding posts. While some may find these disappointing, I find them more than adequate for convenient and secure connections, and these are spaced to fit dual banana plugs, which allows for a neater wire nest behind the unit. Standard RCA jacks will accommodate 2 subwoofers, although I only used one. The RX V4A can handle a multiplicity of input sources. A nicely spaced quartet of HDMI inputs at the top of the panel makes connections easy. All support HDCP 2.3 and are technically capable of receiving 4K 120AB and 8K 60B signals, although they suffer from the same bug that's plaguing all current 8K capable HDMI chipsets, and support for higher resolutions and refresh rates will be added via firmware once these issues are sorted out. A fifth HDMI jack provides a direct ARC EARC connection to a similarly equipped TV. Beneath the HDMI array are three stereo RCA audio inputs, as well as optical and coaxial digital ins. The RX V4A has a pair of wireless antennas to connect the receiver with a wireless network and Bluetooth devices. It also has the familiar FM antenna sitting side by side with the venerable AM-tuned version. While the RX V4A can be operated wirelessly via phone or other internet device, I chose to utilize the stick-type remote control. Since I was operating only a single zone, I set the top switch to Zone A, and pushed the power switch. Simple enough. The next thing I did was to select the input source I wanted from the tuner, USB, net and Bluetooth button options. In addition, the input selection up-down buttons allow for cycling through the various rear panel inputs. Now comes the part one like the best, automatic setup and speaker balancing. Press setup and the RX V4A senses the speaker configuration. Yamaha provides a microphone that gets plugged into the receiver. Place the mic at your position, press test, and the receiver will automatically adjust the volume and delay of all speakers in the system for optimum effect, as well as applying parametric equalization. Find you need a bit more or less volume from one speaker or another. They can be adjusted independently after auto